Welcome, welcome, welcome. So today we are going to take a look at some changes that need to be made in Niantic's Pokemon Go, which we are in the Season of Light right now. In case you did not know, as some people do not, Uxie, Azelf, as well as Me Spirit are all available right now in the wild. So if you're hunting them, that's something to be looking out for, is those three. But fans have spoken. We asked what they wanted to change in Pokemon Go, what changes that they would make themselves if they were part of Niantic. And these are some changes. Some of them have been long asked for, and they have yet to be made in the game. So that has been making some fans kind of annoyed, actually. It's driven some people away from the game. So I asked, you guys sent in your suggestions as to what changes need to be made. So today we're going to be presenting these changes that Niantic should be making. So what are we going to be focusing on? There's going to be some focus on trading, a lot of focus on trading, because there's so much they could do with the trading feature. As well, we're going to be focusing on some of the Waypoint nomination things that are going on there, as well as some of the shiny stuff, as well as just different features that they could be putting in, as well as the cost of items. So why don't we start off with some one of the big ones, cost of items. That is a big one here. So if you go and you take a look throughout the whole game, you'll see some of the boxes that are available. I'll just show you some of the events that are coming up while we're chatting here. So next chat, they're going to be releasing, or next event, they're going to be releasing Marini and Toxapex, which is kind of cool. So that is great to be seeing these two get released. But big change that needs to be made is cost of items. They keep upping the items that they cost, and yet they have not been adding anything new or better into the actual boxes themselves. In fact, they've taken away a lot of the good stuff, and they have now simply removed that, and they have been making them a lot worse. So people are upset by this exact thing, and so that is something that needs to be made for change. Is that cost of items, because it's ridiculous right now. It's getting to be harder and harder for people to be willing to even spend money on it. So that people are just saying they're just not going to bother spending money on it, which is a problem for Niantic. So another thing is communication, communicating events and raid schedules or Pokemon releases in a timely manner, not at the last minute. So this one here, we're seeing it released a week before it's actually coming out. People would like to see this information out at least a month ahead of time, or a few weeks, so that they can be prepared, or you can get excited. You can get excitement ramping up for these things. So it's great to see some of the different Pokemon that are going to be out in this next event here, but it would be nice to have a little bit more notice than what they have been giving. Another thing that we see here is if you have a 5-star raid, boss or higher, you should have a shiny available. These encounters, people want to do the raids, but it's less encouraging for the raid if you are not if you're not going to be available in there. So if there's no shinies, it doesn't encourage people to go and do these actual raids. So I would love to see these shinies put in. That's something people are demanding. I love to see that with the next one, Yveltal, there is a shiny available in that one, which means there will be lots of people doing raids in them. I will be hunting for those shinies to try to get that one. With some of the new releases here too, I'll be hunting that shiny Furfrou. So cost of items, communication, 5-star raids. having shinies. Those are some of the top ones that were sent in. Another one that was sent in by another person who watched one of the videos was when having special events, make the shiny rates better and make it more balanced across for all the players, because some players get a ton and some get hardly any. So it would be great to see that balance going across. And another thing that people have been really frustrated with is when they're trying to build an outfit for their character, they hate that you have to get an item in order to see the whole outfit together. They would like to see it so you can put the outfit together, and then from there you can actually make a decision as to what you're purchasing, because otherwise you're wasting your coins. So that was one that someone had sent in, and I don't think that's a bad idea at all. Another idea that someone sent in is having a community trade page. So placing Pokemon up for trade, and then have it so that people can go through and they can select, oh, I'm looking for this one. What's this person looking for in trade? Oh, I have that one. And then just have it so it is traded between those two, given both people have enough Stardust. In which case you would have to be tweaking Stardust rules as well, which we will get to. That is another big suggestion, is Stardust requirements for trading. Let's just take a look at one of those things there. So I'm actually just going to go to a different page so it's not on the same page the whole time here. So let's go to events, upcoming events here on here. So we'll click on Safari, because this is a big event that is coming up. So when we take a look at it, you can take a look at the costs here. This one, actually, the Safari Zone cost, I think it was around that $13 Canadian, which is about $10 or so American. So not actually a bad price for those actually looking to go. And there are some who travel to these events and attend all these events. So we'll be trying to get maybe some video from some users if they are attending the Safari Zone. If they want to send them in, just hit me up at tpeter745@gmail.com. I will put that in the chat there so that you can see that, and you can send me your user content. Just make me editor when you send it so that I am able to edit. And then I will get that posted. And we will not post your name, because not everybody wants their name posted on those videos. So with this community trade page, you can make offers for it even. If you don't have something they're looking for, you can be like, oh, well, would you take this for it? And I think that would be a really interesting feature to have, as well as a Pokemon wants page. So just Pokemon that someone is looking for, they can list on this community page so that other people can see, oh, they're looking for this. I have that. And then you can go in there and you can organize trades that way. So with that, you would need to adjust the Stardust, as I said. And with adjusting Stardust rates, yes, make it so that it's not ridiculous for people who are first-time traders, brand new friends, to make a trade. Because sometimes you meet people at these community events and you just want to trade with them, but it's going to cost you 1,000,000 Stardust, but you don't want to spend 1,000,000 Stardust to make a trade. So then you don't have that opportunity to trade. With the community page, you can kind of go on there and you can be like, oh, well, this is my community page, this is what I'm looking for. Stardust rates, make them reasonable for people who are just trading, and give a discount maybe for people who are using the community page to trade. And that would encourage people to come back to the game, people to have that feeling, and have a community chat. That's one thing that other people have really been looking for, is a proper community chat feature with that. So not just local people, but global friends. So you can click on the friend and be like, chat, I want to trade this. That way, if you have those lucky friends and they're not local people, you can at least trade with those people. Otherwise, you have lucky friends sitting in there and you can't trade with them. So getting that community feeling going through community chat and organizing trades via private messaging, or if you're in a local group, have a group chat so that it's for your local community. And that would be another way that could be connected to that community trade page and draw people into the game. So another thing that would go along with that community trade page is wonder trading. Someone sent this in, and I really like this. It's kind of a cool idea. It's used in some of the other Pokemon Go areas. So one thing that you can look at here is with the wonder trade is you place something up for a trade, and you click on the wonder box, and it'll randomly select somebody else who's got something that they're trading, and you'll both make the trade that way. You don't know what you're going to get. It's kind of a surprise. So that was an interesting one that someone sent in that apparently is being used on other Pokemon games. So that's something that they could bring to Pokemon Go, and not that hard to implement, especially if they connect it to that community trade page that we were talking about. You can make it so that it's even an option just on the website. You connect the website to your app, and from your app you can go and list them all up on there. So those were some things around the trading. Well, there's more for trading yet, but another one that people were looking for was allowing remote raids to gyms that you're in. So if you're placed in a gym, you can just click on it and you can see if people are there for raiding, and you can click on remote raid from there and it'll take you in. Then you don't have to wait for an invite necessarily. You can just join with a remote raid pass. I thought that was a really, really interesting idea. And it'll also let you know, give you a notification if there's a raid at an area where you are in that gym. And I thought that was really interesting for someone to send that in. So great suggestion. Another one is for people who are trying to get those lucky trades in. So let's say you look down here, you've got a shiny Dratini. You want to try and get a lucky in one of these Dratini, whether it's shiny or not. So you have a whole bunch of these ones here that you're trying to trade. Rather than having it so, I've traded 3 with this person, I've traded 5 with this person in a day, or whatever, have a trade counter so it actually tells you how many trades you've made in the day. That way people are like, oh, I'm getting up to my limit and I've still got a special trade. I don't want to waste that special trade. Let's just hold off on that final trade until I find the right person to make that special trade with. Otherwise, yeah, you can waste your special trade. Another suggestion for that would be to even try that first. Try your special rate or special trade first off, but a counter would be a good idea for those trades. Another one is long distance trading. This one is driving people nuts. I have heard so many people comment on this, and so many suggestions around this. People I've talked to, they are saying they are being driven absolutely nuts with no long distance trading. So what Niantic is really doing here is they are encouraging people to spoof. They hate spoofers, but they want people to spoof just by their actions. So getting a long distance trade feature in there so it doesn't matter how far away you are from somebody, you can just click trade with this person. It'll send them a notification that you want to trade, and you can trade. Why should it matter what distance you are away from the person? It does not matter. So that is something that we need to be looking at here. And what is SOF? I'm not sure what you're referring to. Are you saying Safari Zone? Because Safari Zone is something that is specific just to this region here, Goyang. It will be in that park. So that is something that we look at in people basically who can go, oh, what is spoof? Spoofing is faking your location. So people will have an app. There's several apps. You risk getting banned if you use them, but you can fake your location and say, I'm in, let's say, Goyang right now for this event, even though I'm not actually at this event. And so then you can actually be participating in an event that's not in your region, or you can go to different regions to collect regional Pokemon. So it is definitely something common that is used within the community. It's very common, actually, and part of that is because of long distance trading. People do that to trade with people online. So you want to trade with someone who's in Japan. You've arranged online, so one of you will just spoof to the other person's location, or fly, they call it, to the other person's location, and then you can make a trade that way. Niantic claims to hate it, but a lot of what they do actually encourages it. So long distance trading, they could again make that part of that community page feature, and it would help build up a community feeling to the game, so that yeah, it'll bring people back, and it'll get people feeling that connection between the game, that excitement for the game. Another one that people said was purified Pokemon should not be special trades. 100% agree with this. If you've purified a Pokemon, it is a regular Pokemon. It shouldn't matter about having that be a special trade. It's a waste of a special trade. If you have a regular Dratini and suddenly you have this purified one you're trying to trade for, well, oh wait, you have wasted your special trade for the day, which is super annoying, and it really, there's no reason for it. There is no call for it. Right now I'm showing you the next community day. The next community day is going to be Litwick, October 15th from 2 to 5 p.m. on your local time, and they are introducing Litwick as a shiny Pokemon, which is really, really cool. And he is going to have a special move called Poltergeist, which looks like it has some really good power for some of the people who like PvP. Again, you can get your special research ticket. Some of your special bonuses you can take a look at here as usual. Stardust discount for the day, and you can get one special trade for the day, or one extra special trade for the day. So another one along with that purified thing is shadow Pokemon should be able to be traded. If you can trade a purified, you should be able to trade a shadow. Now, a shadow one, because they are more desired than a purified, I would say a shadow should be a special trade. Purified should not. But the person who sent it in just said shadow Pokemon should be available for special trading, and I don't disagree with that at all. So you can also look at another special trade feature. Instead of limiting it to 1 or 2 on a special time, make it so you can have 7 to 10 special trades in a day. You could even make it so it depends on what type of Pokemon you're trading as to how many it costs. So having those special trade limits removed would really encourage people to, again, be trading back and forth between each other. It would encourage people to get back into the game, enjoy the game a lot more. So quit limiting it. What does it really matter to you? How many special trades are being done in a day in Niantic? There is no reason to limit it. So one other thing that people said that would go along with that other one would be allowing mythical Pokemon to be traded. This drives us nuts. They are mythical. You can't trade them. So we had Deoxys out there. People were catching shinies. Other people wanted the other version of shiny, or you got double in one version of shiny Deoxys. You really wanted the other one, so you wanted to trade for it. You can't trade it. So make it so that these mythical Pokemon can be traded, and that could be one that you could limit to 1 mythical Pokemon being traded a day, to kind of limit how that goes. Another one that people said should not be a special trade is costume Pokemon. Now, if you have a costume Pokemon of that type already, it isn't a special trade. But if you don't have that costume Pokemon, it's a special trade. Costume Pokemon are the same Pokemon, so really they should not be a special trade. These Pokemon should count as the exact same Pokemon that you had, so that really should not matter. I don't understand why they have that as a special trade when it really should not be. So Another one that people were suggesting was Waypoint Nominations. I've heard a lot in regards to these Waypoint Nominations, or Pokestop, whatever you want to call them, but Waypoint is the actual proper term for it. And the reason for that is because these stops are not just for Pokemon Go, they are also for Ingress, which is another Niantic game. If you don't know what Ingress is, it's a game nobody plays anymore, or hardly anybody. That is why you haven't heard of it. So the nominations go into Ingress more often than they go into Pokemon Go. So you can have these nominations and you're like, oh great, it got accepted. It doesn't show up in Pokemon Go. You check Ingress. Sure enough, it showed up in Ingress, never showed up in Pokemon Go. Chances are it never will. So that has driven a lot of people insane as well. If you're going to have it available in one game platform that nobody plays, maybe you should be making it available in the platform more people are actually playing on, like Pokemon Go. That makes sense. So I loved that suggestion. It's, again, one I've heard so often since I have come back to Pokemon Go. It is just driving people insane. So Niantic, get with the program, drop Ingress. Hardly anybody plays it. Pokemon Go is your moneymaker. That's the one you should be focusing on. And fix a lot of the glitches that you see happening. I had some of them today when I was trading with somebody. It kept saying this trade is expired, even though we had just started the trade. So that's another glitch that was absolutely driving us nuts today. So maybe Pokemon Go, focus on fixing your issues in your game and focus on your moneymaker. Another one is stop inputting AR as the default setting. So if you have logged out of your account and your child wants to log into their account and they're using your device, man, it is annoying when you go back in and AR is suddenly back on, because oftentimes if you accidentally hit show me, it will just freeze up the app and nothing happens. AR is not really all that advantageous. It chews up your battery even worse than Pokemon Go already does. They really need to work on some features like dropping AR as default that will really save people's batteries, because it can drain your battery so bad. So that is something, if you're going to play a lot of Pokemon Go and go walking, having a battery pack is definitely recommended. I have one for my phone. I actually have two. Yeah, that especially for community days or when GoFest was going on, you needed more than just your 3-hour charge. So you'd switch to your other battery pack or have a bigger battery pack. So they really need to find ways of just saving people's batteries so that it's not chewing through them, so they can get more out of their gaming experience, especially if you're going on a longer walk. Sometimes I'll intend to go on a 15-minute walk and it'll turn into a 2-hour long walk, in which case my battery starts draining, so I really need that battery pack. Another one that could really save on battery, as well as save people time, is getting rid of the intro and cutscenes that they have for these Pokemon encounters. Either have it so the Pokemon just say escapes or caught and go out of it. Yeah, people can try for a few Pokeballs, but just say escaped and have them throw another Pokeball. The Pokeball shaking and twitching really just slows down the game, drains more of your batteries because it's a video, and makes it so that you have to take longer to try and catch Pokemon, especially if you're out on community day and you're hunting for that shiny, but you gotta click on every single Pokemon to try and find that shiny. Yeah, these can really slow it down. So make it so that people don't have to watch these stupid cutscenes. Have it so they can turn them off if they want, just like you have the AR as something that they can turn off. Another one that people were suggesting was to finish releasing all of one area of Pokemon before you introduce the next region. Otherwise, you end up with a whole bunch of blanks that you can't fill in, and it drives them nuts seeing these Pokespots in their Pokedex that they can't fill in, and then yet a new region is being released. Finish off your regions, and get Kecleon out there. That is one that people are really screaming for, so I know you're struggling with that one. I know there's been already articles on Kecleon, but release Kecleon. Get that chameleon Pokemon out there. People want it. That would finish off that region for so many people. Get that one released. Work on that one. Concentrate on it. I like that you have been releasing more Pokemon of late that are kind of filling in these gaps, but Kecleon is one that people have been asking for a long time, so that is one you should be releasing. Even if it's a special research release, make it a release, because that should be a priority. So yeah, these are some changes that really need to be made. I've taken up enough of your time today. If you have more suggestions on other changes, feel free to shoot me an email or to comment on the video when it is released on YouTube, because it will be released on YouTube as well under Game Breaker Creations. I will put that in the chat as well. So yes, I am on multiple platforms, so Game Breaker Creations. So there you can find more of these videos. I'm releasing more on there than I am on Twitch. So yeah, check it out on there. And Niantic, take note of these suggestions that people have. They are your fans. They're calling for these things. Many of them have been called for a long time, and you have ignored them. Please, Niantic, listen to your fans. Bring in some of these features, especially that community trade page. That's something that would be huge in the game, and you can do so much with that to build off of and bring in new people and bring people back to the game, get a community feeling going. So Niantic, listen to your fans. They are screaming at you to do these things. It is time to listen to them.